Okay, it worked. It worked. Back at it. Okay. Drink me some water. Man, look, I'm not gonna be on here too long, man, because I ain't been on live forever. So I'm pretty sure it ain't gonna be nobody gonna be up in here. But if anybody come back to this video or whatever, and you want to see what's going on, man, just check it out or whatever. But I just wanted to talk about um, anybody that's going through a breakup. Um, I went through a breakup. I went through two breakups, two major breakups. One was when I was, real young. I was like 19 years old. You know what I'm saying? And that was my first one. I lost my virginity and everything to her. And you know, um, I was with her, and it the relationship was cool, man. But it ended real bad. It ended real bad, and it took me a long time to realize a lot of things that went on in that relationship. Um, but what I've learned from that relationship, man, and that breakup is it takes time, man. It takes time. A lot of us, man, we feel like we don't have time. We all be trying to rush into getting back into another relationship, but and that's what I did. When I went through my breakup in my first time, and it was terrible, man. I mean, I did not like being rejected, and I found out, man, I didn't like being rejected because, you know, um, of the things that I had going on with my mother, with my parents, period. And I didn't know that, and I was neglected a lot as a child. My mama, she took care of us, and my daddy took care of us. But financially, we had a household. You know what I'm saying? And it's not my parents' fault. It's not my parents' fault at all that they could not give me what they was never give. You know what I'm saying? They was never give that. So, hey, what's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Hey, my today was my day was beautiful. It was very beautiful. It was I had a wonderful day today. I've been through a lot, you know what I'm saying? But, today been good for me. It's been definitely good for me. But I appreciate you asking how your day been. But I was just getting on here, just basically just trying to talk to people how to help them through breakups. I went through a breakup. What's up? What's up? What's up? My day has been. That's good. Your day been amazing. That's good. What little bro? What you talking about? You can come here talking about little bro. God bless you and wish you the best, bro. God bless you too, man. God bless you too. But I was getting on here, man, trying to talk about breakups and rejection. I went through a breakup. I went through two breakups. Two major relationships in my life, and I found out, rejection. People don't like rejection because it's something they went through a lot when they was children, and I was rejected a lot. Growing up, I got bullied. My mom and father, they really didn't know how to really take care of me emotionally. So I grew up with this sense of rejection, and it's not their fault. It's not their fault at all because they couldn't give me something that they could, they couldn't give me something that nobody get in. My father, my father used to beat him. He used to get beat. He used to get beat a lot from his father. And my mother, she didn't even know her father. So you gotta understand these two people was raising me. So and they was emotionally neglected. So of course they're gonna not wanna be able to meet me emotionally as a kid. But they took care of me. They took care of me financially. You know what I'm saying? We always had food in the house. We always, We weren't just, we were middle class. So, we got taken care of very well. Me and my sisters and stuff, my brother got taken care of real well. But emotionally, it was all neglect, it was chaos. My dad was an alcoholic. My daddy was an alcoholic. My mama, she wasn't. My mama was the type. She really didn't. She had a way of just blowing up on you. She had a way of just blowing up on you. If you did anything small, it was basically like walking around eggshells. I couldn't be myself with my mother. So that's a part of emotions. Like your children have to be able to express themselves, and I couldn't express myself with my mother. I couldn't express myself with my father. So you gotta understand, look at that. That's like walking around eggshells all the time, because it's like you can't say no, you don't know, and then things are so unpredictable in the household. So my father, and him being alcoholic, his emotions was based on that. But I remember one time I had a poem about, my daddy loved, I said my daddy loved that bottle more than he loved me. And which is real. It's real. Not no disrespect to him. I love him, but parents sometimes get so caught up in their own lives. They get so caught up in a defensive mechanism, and they substance abuse, and they don't have time for the child. You know what I'm saying? So they got bills and stuff like that. I remember hearing a whole lot of it growing up, about people just talking about my parents talking about bills, and we got to pay these bills, and I'm tired of paying bills. And I used to hear that all the time. So it gave me anxiety when it came to money. Like, I get anxiety when it comes to money. I'll save money and then won't even spend it. I just save so much of it and then don't spend it. Be scared to spend my own money. But it's because the way I grew up as in, like, money was something to fear. Money was something to be scared of. So, but going back to, like, just being, going through a breakup. Anybody that's been through a breakup, I don't know if anybody on here has been through a breakup or anything, but when you're going through a breakup, you have to really find out who you are. You guys to find out who you are. If you was the person that was being rejected, because when I went through the breakup, I didn't know. I didn't know how to handle the breakup. I didn't know how to handle the breakup. Only thing I knew was to go get some more pussy. That's how most men think. We think, like, we went through a breakup, we're going to go get some more pussy. I'm going to give me another woman. You know what I'm saying? So we never, and that's what society teaches us, not to have, not the man to be on his own, or not the woman to be on. You have to be married. You have to be a couple. You got to, you have to be there. And that's what society teaches a lot of us. They teach a lot of us like that. So you being rejected and you not knowing yourself, it's like, it's like, damn, you know what I'm saying? I don't know myself. And so now I'm emotionally attached to the person that rejected me, because they have a part of my identity. I don't know if anybody understand it, but they got a part of you. You understand what I'm saying? And you're trying to figure, okay, and then now if you're in this space of, like, trying to figure yourself out, and they are carrying your identity. So it's like, I don't even want them to leave, because I feel valued by them. I feel like a part of me, whatever I felt like was important, it's a part of them. So I went through that. I went through a dark place. When I first went through a breakup, I went through a very dark place. I didn't know who the fuck I was, none of that. And it took me, and I jumped back into a relationship, which made it even worse. You know what I'm saying? So I feel I give advice to anybody, man. If you're going through a breakup, or you went through a breakup, you 9 out of 10, if you went through a breakup, you know what I'm talking about. But if you're going through a breakup, you need to stay to yourself. You need to stay to you. And I know that shit hurts, because don't nobody want to be alone. But you got to understand, man, you live alone. You know what I'm saying? You're going to die alone. You born alone, you live alone, you're going to die alone. No one's going, in between that shit, like, in between all that, you're going to make friends. You're going to, have connections and whatnot. But at the end of the day, you by yourself. And and it gets real uncomfortable when you have to deal with things by yourself. A lot of people, and then we'll pick up the phones, we'll go to clubs, we'll go, whatever it takes or we'll go shopping, we'll do whatever it takes to fill that void of, or try to distract ourselves and try to have like an instant gratification. That's why dating apps and all these apps, TikTok and all this stuff, and that's why all this stuff is so big, because people are looking for an instant gratification. They looking for it because they trying to ignore whatever's going on in their real life. So anybody that's going through a breakup, and that's first thing to do, just sit with it. You have to sit with that uncomfortability. You have to sit with it. You know what I'm saying? I'm living proof. You have to. It's no other way. I don't care if you go fuck with Tom, Dick, and Harry. It don't matter. You have to sit in that pain. You have to sit. You know what I'm saying? And it's miserable. It's hella miserable. You understand? Because like I said, I got neglected early. I was neglected early. I was neglected ever since I was a baby, because my mama was running around doing whatever she wanted to do, and she was kind of tossing me. She tossed me to my sister. She tossed me to my mama. I mean my aunties and the lady across the street, which ended up molesting me. You feel me? So she was doing her little thing at that time, and then she kind of got to the point like, okay, well, I'm finna sit down now. So since I'm gonna sit down, I'm gonna be overprotective. So by her being overprotective, she's still neglecting me emotionally. You understand what I'm saying? So obviously, when I get to a certain age, and or adult or whatever, that inner child, when someone reject me, automatically it's gonna come. Anxiety gonna come. Anxiety gonna come. I'm gonna get uncomfortable. I'm gonna wonder why they don't want me. You understand what I'm saying? And it's not that I'm going crazy. It's not like I'm just insane. No, it's the way I was brought into this world. And then I'm not the only one. It's a lot of people like this. It's a lot of people hate rejection, but you got to find out, why do you don't like rejection? Why you do not like when someone breaks up with you? Why you don't like that? It's a reason. It's not like that person's just the most, oh my God, like, oh my God, this person was like the perfect person in the world. It's not that. It's something to do with you. It has nothing to do with them. It has something to do with you. So you have to figure that out and find out what that is. Stay away from drugs. Stay away from alcohol, because that's what I had to do. I had to get rid of the alcohol. I was a fucking alcoholic. And of course, because my daddy was an alcoholic. You feel me? So I had to get away from the alcohol. I had to get away from the alcohol. I had to stop drinking. And and that's part of that was uncomfortable. You understand what I'm saying? It was one night, man, I almost drove myself out. It got so bad for me going through a breakup, I almost ran myself off the road. Like, I was drinking, I was drunk. And then I noticed myself kind of tipping over into the highway, and I caught myself. I rushed, I say, damn, you know what I'm saying? And I was just drunk because I was going through it, and I was drunk just driving around, and I almost ran off into like off the highway. So you have to, man, you have to really look at yourself and figure it out. And drugs and alcohol is not going to help. It's basically a defensive mechanism. That's all it really is. You know what I'm saying? And drugs and alcohol are not the same thing, because a lot of things are, people use to get, to numb the pain, to numb the rejection from the breakup. It's a lot of things people use. It ain't just that. A lot of people use porn, masturbation, and all that type of stuff. I mean, it's all just to ignore what reality is. It's to ignore it. And I went through something called emotional crisis. I don't know if anybody know about that. It's something called emotional crisis. And what it is it's like, you'll see the person that you used to go with. Like, you'll probably see them in the car, like, damn, is that her? You know what I'm saying? Or is that him? And then you look and you be like, nah, that ain't him. That ain't her. You know what I'm saying? Or you might hear their voice. You know what I'm saying? You might see them in the corner of your eye or something like that. And I've been through that. I've seen my baby mama, like, and I'm thinking it's like some spiritual shit. Like, what the fuck going on? Why the fuck I see her? You know what I'm saying? But now it's not that. It's because you're going through an emotional, it's called emotional crisis. You know what I'm saying? And you just went through a stressful time during that breakup, and after that breakup, you're just going through an emotional. You just, you detach from somebody that you were so used to, and abusers go through this stuff. People who've been raped and stuff like that. That's why a rapist or a person that they got beat up by a certain person all their life, or their parent, or whoever it was, and they'll go right back to that person. I've seen it, like people will have conversations, with that person that raped them or beat them, that they was a victim to. They'll go talk to them like it's a normal thing. You know what I'm saying? It's not even that. It's because they got that emotional attachment to that person. You know what I'm saying? Even if a person raped, I've read stories of a person being raped. They was raped and abused by somebody in the family, but they was afraid to even tell somebody in the family, like their parent, you know what I'm saying, what happened. But they'll talk to the person that abused them the whole time. It's because they don't have an emotional attachment to their parents, but they got emotional attachment to the abuser, which is crazy. You understand what I'm saying? Well, I ain't gonna say it's crazy, but it's just amazing how deep that goes, how attachment goes. You know what I'm saying? That's why detachment is more love than anything. Because when you're detached, that means you can make decisions on your own. When you're detached from somebody, just say if I'm going with somebody and I'm able to detach, I'm able to go somewhere, do my own thing without them. You understand what I'm saying? She don't even know what I'm doing, or he don't know what I'm doing, whatever. I'm able to make a decision on my own without that person. Detachment is nothing wrong with that. Just like if a person got to go travel somewhere and you still in the same state. It doesn't matter if it's okay for them to be able to do that. It's okay for detachment. It's okay. And some people can't handle that because their emotions are so tied to that person that they can't even just they feel like they worth and their importance is all in this person, but that's not true. That's not love. That's not love, being so attached to somebody. That's like I said with your parents. Like, eventually you gotta let your parents go. You gotta stop worrying about what your parents, like what they got going on or whatever. You gotta stop that, because detachment is real love, man. Sometimes you have to back off. You know what I'm saying? So I hope I'm making sense to somebody, or what I'm saying. But the other thing I want to say is get around positive people. Get around positive people. Everybody not positive. Stay away the fuck away from the clubs. Stay away from the clubs. Stay away from gossip. People who like to gossip. Stay away from all that, because it's not going to help you. It's not going to help you at all. You need to be around people that like to read. You need to be around people that like to write. You need to be around people who, just got that, you can pull some type of resource from. You know what I'm saying? That's going to help you get out that funk that you in. You know what I'm saying? That emotional dirt that you in. You have to get around those type therapists. You have to go. I recommend anybody to go to a therapist. A lot of people don't like therapy, but to me, therapy is what damn near saved me. I've been in therapy for like maybe 2 years now. And therapy is basically saving me. Because I was so iffy about going to therapy. I used to ignore therapy. I used to avoid therapy. Like, man, I'm not going to therapy. You know what I'm saying? I do not want to go. But I got used to it. I just kept going. And now, you know what I'm saying? I go up in there, I walk in that motherfucker with a big ass smile on my face. You feel me? I be smiling when I walk in therapy, because I mean, it's healthy. You especially if you get along with the therapist. Now, if you don't get along with the therapist, then you got to find someone that fits you. You know what I'm saying? God has just been over me for a little while, and he kind of brought me, because I went through like 4 therapists. So, but the therapist I'm with now, man, we got a good relationship. We got a good relationship, and I feel like I could talk to him about everything. I've literally talked to him about dark shit, like some real dark stuff. You know what I'm saying? That I have never told anybody. And he did not judge me. He did not judge. And that's what you need. You need to be around a space. Anybody that's going through a breakup or anything, you need to be around a space where you're not being judged. You know, and that don't have to be a therapist. It could be anybody, you know. But you have to be around somebody that won't judge you. It's the greatest feeling in the world to be able to talk to somebody that's not going to judge you, because most people, they're judging you. You know what I'm saying? They're judging you. They're being very defensive if you say something that's uncomfortable. So you have to be around people that's that's like that. You know, so I hope I help somebody today, man. Can go through their breakup. It was just my heart. It was on my heart today, and I needed to, I just needed to say something, man, about it. So I don't know. Party where real adults get together. I got a birthday coming up now, man. My birthday is November the 2nd. I'm gonna be turning 40. My sister told me, she was like, so you not excited to be, you're not excited, not excited, but you're not like feeling down about being 40. I was like, no, I'm excited. I love being 40, man, because it's growth. I'm getting older, you know what I'm saying? And I love it. I love that I'm getting older because I ain't gonna lie, my 20s and 30s were terrible because I was sitting here trying to figure this stuff out, man. I'm sitting here trying to figure myself out. So, man, look, be loyal to, if I'm gonna end this with anything, man, be loyal to yourself. Be loyal to yourself. Stop worrying about everybody else. Stop worrying about what everybody else is doing. Trust me, it can get boring as hell, but it's very, very peaceful. It's very peaceful. Be loyal to yourself. When you step outside in this world, this crazy, chaotic world that we living in, be loyal to yourself. You know what I'm saying? Be loyal to yourself before you call yourself being loyal to anybody else. Self-love. I believe in that so much of self-love. And not self-love as go buy yourself something or go get them no, just, man, if you can go walk at a park, man. If you can take time out your day to go walk at the park for like 15 to 20 minutes, that's self-love. You have to do that. You have to give yourself self-love. You got to do that. Because a lot of us, man, we tend to worry about everybody else, man, and that's not love, man. That's not you showing yourself love. And you tend to want to give everything to yourself. And like I said, I've been there. You want to give everything to everybody because you want to feel important. You want to feel important. You want to be so emotionally attached to everybody, but you can't do it because you're killing yourself. You know what I'm saying? Female, male or female, you're killing yourself, bending and breaking for everybody. You have to start telling people no, being loyal to yourself. Tell people no when you want it. When you mean, I'm talking about when you want to say no. If your mind say, man, nah, I don't want to do that, don't fucking do it. Because if you do it, you're hurting that inner person in you. That inner person, whatever you want to call it, inner child or whatever you want to call it, that inner person inside you, you are hurting it and you're losing trust with yourself. And that's what life is like. That was basically your life is. You have to trust yourself to maneuver around here or have some type of direction in life. You got to trust yourself, because if you don't trust yourself, trust me, somebody else is going to be making decisions for you. Plain and simple. Somebody's going to be making decisions for you if you don't trust yourself. You have to trust yourself. You have to be loyal to you. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, like Elijah Muhammad said, and I'm going to take the words from him, you cannot love somebody if you don't love yourself. You have to love yourself first. You cannot love anybody without loving yourself. Period. You understand? You cannot love somebody if you don't even know them. You feel me? So that's why you can't even worry about hate or somebody disliking you. If they don't even know your last name, we be sitting here worrying about people not liking us, and these people don't even know our last name, don't know where you stay at, they ain't helping you pay your bills. Like, why is you worrying about somebody like that? They don't even know your name. You feel me? It's like somebody in Japan. You know what I'm saying? Somebody living way in Japan or in Tokyo somewhere. You know what I'm saying? How can you love that person way from, you don't even know them? They don't even know you. You feel me? So yeah, man, be loyal to yourself. Love yourself, man. I'm out of here, man. I appreciate everybody. I appreciate everybody viewing this and liking it. If you can, just, go to my poetry videos, scroll through my poetry videos, man. Like my poetry videos. I'm going to keep on dropping poetry videos, you know what I'm saying? Because, that's what I love. that's me. That's me separated from whoever else. You understand? That's something I love to do. You understand what I'm saying? It's not I love to do it because, you know, this person I'm with love that I do it. No, it's just this is something I love to do. I love to spread love and I love to write poetry. That's just my thing. That's my own identity. That's who I am. You understand? And you have to find out who you are and what your gifts is. And trust me, it's gonna come. If you're going through a breakup, you spend a long time, you spend some type of long time with yourself, you're gonna be okay. Fuck that loneliness shit. You know what I'm saying? Forget that lonely. I'm lonely. And that's just that baby inside of you, man. That motherfucker who don't like to be rejected. That motherfucker that don't like himself. Like, you gotta start loving yourself. Loneliness is just hate for yourself, really. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like if you got loneliness and stuff like that, that really means you hate yourself. You really don't like yourself. And I'm just being real. You just don't. You going through loneliness, you really don't like yourself. Because if you was because if you really was loyal and love yourself, you would love being around yourself no matter who's around you. Love, peace, and power, man. Love y'all, man. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment, hit that notification bell.